Hey, Don here. Okay, back with another live stream. It's been a while, over a month, maybe more. But I'm going to try to get something figured out here. My web server, let me see, I got to make sure everything works. Been a while, I'm kind of rusty. Took me a little bit to get everything set up. Getting my sound working. Okay. Make sure my stream's good and all. Let's see. Oh yeah, I remember how I can do that now. That laptop has a... Yeah, all I have to do is just hit the mute button on the laptop to turn that audio on and off, and I won't have to use the mouse. Okay. Now, my IBM web server, I'll show you here in this other camera view if I can hit the right one. The NetProMax up here used to be out in the garage. Well, it's been everywhere, inside, outside. But anyway, I brought it in and took and set it where my web server usually sets the IBM, so that I could, work on it in here. And I haven't done anything with it and since then, a couple of months plus ago. And the IBM's been out there running just fine, no problems. It made it through the hot part of the summer. And looking at this cam stream, let's see. Oh yeah, I'm fine. The preview threw me off. I can see the preview. You can see the camera, but I can see there we go. Yeah, I wasn't seeing my audio signal, and I thought, yeah, okay, everything's fine. It's just an extra audio signal in that one. All right. So anyway, the NetProMax, the IBM is out there in the garage, but a week or so ago, let's see, yeah, a week or so ago, we had a pretty good thunderstorm and a little power. I was asleep, but I remember the power went on and off. I don't know, at least I remember 3 or 4 times. I remember hearing everything come back on in here in my room. So, and it's out in the garage, so I thought, oh well, it'll be fine because it's happened to it before, over the years, many times, enough times. But it turned out it wasn't all right, and I didn't feel good during that time, and then I got a really bad cold, which I'm still trying to get over. But I am feeling better than I was, and it had been sitting out there. It turned, it came back on like it's supposed to, but it didn't boot up, and so it damaged the file system. That'll happen sometimes. It doesn't happen very often, and most of the time when it does, there's an automatic file system check and repair in Linux, so it usually fixes it. For some reason, it just didn't run and fix it, and you can just hard shut it down and turn it back on, and it'll fix itself. But I even didn't work, and I tried to remember the commands. I couldn't remember them, and it was out in it was in the middle of the night. I got my schedule turned around, so it was like 3 in the morning, and I was out there, and I was getting a little chilly, and I still started sniffling more from my cold, so I decided I better. It went from hot to cool weather all of a sudden just a week ago. Started cooling down. So I can't seem to remember what camera. I meant to go on the camera. I was sitting there talking like like I thought I was being seen, and yet I could see the preview was showing the desktop, and I wasn't showing anything on the desktop. So, yeah, I'm rusty. So I'm Don, but I'm also rusty. Okay, so to me, rusty. When you say rusty like that, it just seems like a name instead of a thing. But anyway, coffee. Okay, so the NetProMax. The whole reason I was pointing at the NetProMax for 5 minutes there. It had been my plan ever since I brought it in here to go ahead and turn it into a server too, and either use it as a server or as a backup server. So when it goes down, because I'm running my little old 500 megahertz gateway out there now. It's a Pentium 3 500 megahertz, but it's not working right. And I don't know for sure what's going on. I've never seen this problem. I'm going to get it on the desktop and show you what it is I'm talking about. I just realized I need to pause that preview on that laptop or it'll wear it out. I thought I would show what I'm talking about here. And let's see. So if I go to I have my different domains pointing all to that same server, I used to have this one masked so it didn't show where it actually goes, but I turned that off the other day. It used to always say DonsSongs.com no matter what page it was on, but it also makes it a little funky. It makes it kind of weird to me anyway, and I think it would to most people. You don't know what's going on. Well, I guess a lot of people don't look up here in the address bar, but I do. But anyway, I turned it off because I thought it might help me figure things out. So if you click on the album covers here, this is my music website where you could go and download my music. But if you click on this one on the right there, it goes back to my main bishopco.us.2, and I have to use that. That's because my internet service provider gives you a dynamic IP address. It's always changing, so I have to use a forwarding system, and they give you a free domain name, a subdomain on their domain names. They're us.2, and nobody had taken bishopco.us.2, so I got that one a few years ago. And I used to use DNS for years until they stopped being free, and I thought well, maybe I'll just start paying for it, but it was outrageously expensive. So I knew about this one already. It's called free DNS. Let's see. I'll go ahead and maybe I'll show it. Oops. I can't remember how I put it in here. Oops. I think I'm on the desktop. Yeah, I'm still on desktop. Okay, I'll make sure I was showing what I thought I was showing. There, domains. This is it. So I'll just open it up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. freedns.afraid.org. This is what I use, and it will automatically, once you set it, you have to get an account and set it up, and it'll forward your it can monitor your when your IP address, your real IP address changes from your ISP. It'll monitor it and make sure that your server is still found by your domain names and everything once you get it all set up. So, but that's all working. See, I went straight to it, but I don't know how long I can end up being able to talk here. I haven't talked. I mean, I haven't done anything but sit around coughing for over a week. Which is kind of normal for me anyway, but this time it's because of a cold. So, yeah, when I click on that one, it goes. Now, see, this time it did that. Now, this is what really throwing me for a loop. This is a GoDaddy error page. GoDaddy, domain and hosting service. And the GoDaddy is where I get my domains, but I don't have my hosting there. I don't have any hosting there. I used to years ago, but I don't now. I've been running my own server for over at least 5 years. I don't remember for sure. But it does odd things. See, now both links are doing the same thing. And also there's a folder being interjected in there. That's a folder that's not on my server. So I don't know if and I've spent some time with this already the last couple of days. I don't know if if they're okay. Now this time it went back but it didn't go where it should go. It went to the main. And see, if you hover over a link, an image that's a link or just a regular link, down there at the bottom left, you see it says bishopco.com /livingbeings / That's the folder that's in. So I started learning to build websites in 98, 99, and I built these mostly from 99 to 2005 or more like 02 or 03. And they're still straight HTML web pages. I did have some, when I had GoDaddy, I did have some dynamic websites and stuff, but those are hard to maintain and to keep people from breaking into, so I didn't ever get with those. I never did do that on my own server yet. I kept thinking I was going to, but anyway. So it should, as long as there's an index HTML and or index HTML page in that folder, then it should, and it's always worked, but now it's not. And this link says, and they are kind of back and forth. There's different ways you can do links, like that without the www on the front, and then this one actually has www.bishopco.com, DonsDeals, and that's straight in the root folder of the server, or not of the server machine, but of the server website area. And then the name of that index file, and that's not an indexed HTML, it's got its own name. When you click on it, it won't go to it. It gives us error. And these links here, they do the same basic thing. So let's see that one there. Now here's one. No, that was not working either. So I'm starting to want that. It is an older. I'm not running Fedora on that old machine. It wouldn't run for newer Fedoras. I'm running even an older Debian and system. Now see, that one works just like it always has. And it's just almost like it's random, and it doesn't seem to always do the same thing. And I've already restored the whole website from my backup. So if there was anything that, if it had gotten broken into at some point when I was running, I haven't run it in months, but if I was, when it was running, if somehow it got broken into, and and I did look in there, these folders, those looks like randomly generated folders, like a PHP or ASP website would do, a dynamic website would do. But this is not a dynamic website. So see, that one works. But it doesn't matter how many times you try to go back to those two, they just don't work. And then sometimes they'll get really slow, which is probably because that machine is slow at responding because it's 500 megahertz. But you can try reloading. I didn't say that a minute ago, but it doesn't make any difference. It'll either just not do anything, or it'll go to an error page. So I thought it would be easiest to just start out by doing what I need to do anyway, and that's set up a brand new Fedora 28 server, and then get me a cough drop, and then go from there if it doesn't work, because I can do, you can do that. I mean, the actual time once you get going, once you get started, it only takes 20-30 minutes to install Fedora 28. Of course, I'm going to have to back up the files on the NetProMax, because I saw yesterday that I have some on there. And put it on a USB stick and all that stuff. But so I thought I would go ahead. This is like a real mystery problem that I thought I might as well make a video while I'm doing it. So what's going on? I've never seen this. So I mean, this is my website I care the most about too. It's the one that has my music, and it's free downloads and everything, but nobody can get to it. So that's my plan here, is to go ahead and try to fix this. I'm going to close the web browser now because I have less things running. Now I have, let's see, I wish I wouldn't have done that now. We get in the, let me get in my file browser here, and the preview doesn't do me a lot of good if I when I pause it. It doesn't help. But I have a USB stick. I have Fedora. Let's see. Yeah, this is Fedora 28 Live Security, and I didn't have anything written on it, but I kind of remembered there was something on it still. So I plugged it into the NetProMax and it booted it up just fine. And that's what turned out to be Live Security with XFCE Desktop. The other one has Fedora 28 with Mate Desktop that I was going to use to redo Mom's machine, which I still have waiting for me to finish. And Anyway, I wrote the label on it, and now I'm like, oh, I'm fixing to change it right now. But anyway, I want. It's not hard to fix. I used to use an eraser to clean those up, but it finally hit me the other day. Why don't I try alcohol? And it wipes it off like instantly. But I have Fedora. You have to use Fedora Media Writer. I've already downloaded the ISOs that I want and everything. But what I was going to see was, oh yeah, first, before I even get into that, I need to back that thing up, okay? Or make sure it's backed up or whatever. I guess I should look. I might have a backup that looks, I might have done it just, a couple of months ago. Okay, so I don't have anything in there. Just do it on that side. Well, I like to have that video folder where I can see that everything, my backup video is being made and everything's cool. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Yes, I'm on desktop. Okay. Now, doesn't look like I have a folder specifically. If I don't have a folder there, backup NetProMax, and I haven't done it recently. I haven't. So there's a couple of ways I can do it. See, I have Fedora 26 with some files on there, and there may be stuff that I don't have backed up, so I'm concerned about. That may be just backed up in my general backup folders. There's no telling. I can't remember now, I'm going to go into my documents folder. I wanted to see the specs on the NetProMax. There it is. The NetProMax Fedora 21. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's see if I have anything about video card. Yeah, that looks like something that might tell me the hardware. I didn't close my browser, but let's see. It tried to open it in something else. Oh, it tried to open it in Music Score app. How strange. That's not associated right, is it? There's something that got changed. And I guess Crusader itself, and or it could be in May desktop, or well, KDE desktop. Used to, you could click on a file, right click, properties, and go right there, file type options, and click on that, and you could change the file type options so quick and easy. And now you can't. It just doesn't work. Doesn't matter if you're a root or regular user, you still can't do it. I've done it all these years since 2005, so I don't know why they did. What happened there? Could be something in, like KDE settings. I don't even have KDE desktop installed. I just have enough of the KDE desktop supporting applications to use the apps that I want, like Crusader. But you can still go right-click, open with. See, it's set to. Why would an HTML error be set to open in a music scoring app? It doesn't make any sense. It used to always open up in some kind of browser, but I want it to open up in Firefox, so hopefully that'll. Oh, you can't really read it. That's one of those reports that's hard to read. What I want to know is see if it tells if it's a. I want to know if it's 32-bit, if it's possibly a 64-bit processor. I just figured I thought it was a 32-bit. That's not really going to help. You know what? Why don't I get on the machine? I was fixing to boot it up anyway. I just thought I might have a report. I was just saying the hardware lister that didn't make a very pretty report when I saved it that way. Okay, let's. Some of them make real nice reports, and some of them don't. Let's see what this is. Oh, hard info. That might work better. I guess it really matters. The newest one on the top. Oh, LSHW, that's, you gotta have the app to read that one, but the HTML one will work. Oh, see, now that file, how could two different, maybe that doesn't say HTML and I just thought it did. Because see, I've been clicking on HTML files with no problem. It says HTML. Maybe it looked at it, but beyond the file extension, and because it was a LSHW report. Okay, now here's one that's pretty, and you can read it. Okay, 2.8 gigahertz. That's a little. The IBM's 2.5. So it's 2.8. So it's a little bit more grunt to it. They're both Celerons. Memory, well, back then it had 382 megabytes. I got 2 gig in it now, so that's great for a server. That's the most it can run. Finding the architecture is a little, I always forget exactly how they, well, it's different between different hardware listing apps. It's different as how they write it out. They usually, you can't just look for bit usually, or 32-bit, 64-bit like that. You can try. There's one, but that's talking about something else, see. But that I need to know, that's one of the first things you need to know. It really is the first thing you need to know when you're picking which version of Fedora or Debian or any Linux. You know, you need to get the right architecture, the right ISO image, or the right whatever download you're going to download needs to be the right one for your architecture. So yeah. There'll be a lot of 32s in there probably. Maybe not that many. Architecture, yeah, sound. That word's used a lot more than you might think. So, if I could remember commands, I could just go do one on there on the machine. But anyway, I do know that I think it was x86-64 is the one that booted on there. It would not boot on the IBM, but it booted, which I was thinking, okay, x86-64 means it's 64-bit. Maybe I'll just try a 64-bit and see. Sometimes that's easier than going around the block 100 times trying to find booting them up to something that can tell you, you know, and all that. There's all kinds of things I can boot up to tell me all the hardware. Like Party Magic has this app that made this with, made this report with. And sometimes I just can't find. Of course, you could do this. Pentium 4, but it doesn't say. Oh, this is a Pentium 4. It's not a Celeron. Oh yeah, it is Celeron. Pentium 4 class, but it's a Celeron. So anyway, that and your memory and all that stuff. I think I'll go. I had those pages open earlier, so maybe I'll open those up. I thought I might be able to find that. Some of those reports just flat don't tell you, and some of them do. That's the thing. You see, they're too long for me to just. I would never see it anyway. There's benchmarking reports. I like this one because it does benchmarks and everything. But see, it's been quite a while since I had those pages open. That's bookmarks. Yeah. So I'll go to Fedora. And where's my sound over there? And I just looked over. I realized, oh, I heard my laptop fan running, and I thought, oh, I do still have have it playing over there. So yeah, now I can see what's going on over there, but I don't hear. Actually, I'm starting to worry now because I don't hear the sound while I'm make sure I have it actually turned on over there. Oh, it's muted. There we go. It was muted. See, I used to always mute it on the YouTube player, but now I do it with the button. I'm trying to get myself to remember. Sorry. I started out thinking, okay, I think I might be okay. I guess the time will tell how okay I'll be here doing this. Okay. Fedora Linux project. There we go. Keep having to check to see if I'm showing what I want to show. Installation guide, that's the first thing you're going to need. For some reason all the links are saying they've been changed. Since just a couple of months ago. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all this, but there's where you want to go. Fedora docs. Oh yeah, this is sorry. Okay. See if that's going to be any better than it was. Now. Okay. Yeah, well, you had plenty of time to look at that, didn't you? Okay. So yeah, I was thinking I might do that. I might try to restall over VNC so that I could show it on my live video. We'll see about that. See how things go. I may have to quit doing video, period, because I can't talk. The other thing that's real important That's where I was trying to go first, but I saw installation and just clicked. Okay, so minimum system configuration. Got to have a gigahertz processor, which I've got 2.8, 1 gig of memory, which I got 2, 10 10 gigabyte hard drive space, which is a 20 gig hard drive just should be enough to get it on there and leave me enough room for my website. It's about 3 or 4 gigabytes. It should give me around 5 empty space, and then I really don't need to put anything else on it after that. And the graphics, I think my graphics will be fine. I'm not going to be, well, I'm not going to put it, I'm going to do the basic Fedora server without even a graphic user interface. Actually, I don't know if they have it set up where last time with Fedora 23, I had to figure out how to, they didn't provide a way to do it, with Anaconda installer. I had to go install it in the command line later. I had to find out how to do it. So I did a bunch of research, but it's been, a couple months, 3 months, 2-3 months back. So I don't remember if I found a way to do it during the installation or to do it later. I think I just never did find any information. And that right there is really helpful. I've done some videos on that using this, find hidden groups and stuff. That's how I use it to make my install scripts I use on my Fedora 28 system that I'm running right now. By taking those commands, running them, and then saving them to a text file and then turn them into a script. You see, there's a commands to install like I would be doing mate if I, well, actually I do XFCE on the server, but or KDE. But that didn't work just plain out of the box like that last time. I had to do some other things with Fedora 23, so I don't know this time. But anyway, so make sure if you're going to do that on an older system like I'm doing, then, well, it doesn't even, these days, some of these brand new systems might be 1.3 gigahertz, so whatever you're trying to install on them, better make sure they can run it before you get in, wear yourself out trying to learn how to do it and doing it. Okay, so it's already starting to warm up in here. It's one thing that's kind of bothering me. I'm probably making it more likely to make me want to cough. Well, I do have an extra machine running. I have my laptop running. And I was planning on turning on NetProMax. I guess if I open my window a little bit, that could help or it could make it worse. I mean, it's not hot in here, but it's warming up. Okay, well, I got a little thermometer right here. It's 76.6, so that's almost 77. Usually, lately, it's been staying at 70, around 75, 75 and a half. That's just in bad shape with this cold, I'm sure. Cough drop helped for that first, and now still just in bad trouble. Okay. Let me if I just keep taking cough drops, it usually just kind of burns up my throat, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to get me a NyQuil liquid that works fast. If that doesn't work, I really will have to give up. So I'll just leave the camera like that and get that. All right, everything just hit me, and it's not usually, that stuff hits you at nighttime, but I've been up all night and it's 7:30 in the morning. You would think it would be getting better. Usually don't take, like, well, I have been lately while I'm up, take it. I'm going to bed. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so that's the two main things. Now all this terrible coughing and everything is just really throwing off my train of thought. I'm sitting here thinking about, well, the only way I may be able to continue is to go silent. But then nobody would have any clue what I'm doing, I don't think, if I wasn't explaining it. So I don't think it'd be worth it. If I can't continue, then I guess I don't like to give up once I get started. I've been feeling bad for the last couple of months and haven't been able to do much of anything. And once I do get started, I don't want to give up. But so I'm gonna leave that VNC instructions. I may want that. I may actually try and do that. Oh, the backing up, that is got to be done before I can do that. Okay. So the NetProMax is over here. So let's just turn it on. And I will, I got to see what's on it. I got to see, I have my USB backup drive, of course, plugged into my machine I'm running, and I can unplug it. As long as it's not doing backups at that time, I can unplug it. Plug it into the NetProMax. Got it on the machine. It was last one on the farthest one to the right, and I didn't see it because I have too many pieces of paper down there in the way. So, seems like my preview's awful behind. So I'll get it booted up, and the USB drive won't reach over there without pulling it out from where it's setting and everything, so I'm hoping not to have to do that. If I can get to it I want to see if I've got any, if I've got SSH running on it and I can SSH into it, do a SFTP. There's not that big of files. I should be able to copy them. Over the network. But with me comping like this, maybe that's what I should do, and you know, don't try to do it on camera. Hang on. No, I can't take Dayquil. I did mention that. I thought about it earlier. Dayquil makes me shake all over. I can't take it. So I take NyQuil, wake or sleep. I usually, like I said, I take, well, I usually take regular, you know, nighttime again, but nighttime cold pills when I'm awake, and it's not too bad. NyQuil usually kind of tries to knock me out. Okay. I think I said it was Fedora 26 on there, maybe. It's Fedora 21, I'm pretty sure. I used to use this, I had it plugged into the TV in the living room for my mom and everybody to use. It has this video card. It's not a real big one. I didn't look and see what it was, but I think it's like 128 megabytes. But it has HDMI. DVI output, not HDMI. And I used a DVI to HDMI converter and plugged it into the TV for a couple of years. Then it got to where it just wasn't powerful enough to keep up with all the junk they put on the browsers, you know, these days. Okay, it has TeamViewer on it. Open up Crusader just to look at the files. What I guess I need to do is see if there's an SSH server running on it. See, it's not too fast. Of course, it did just now boot up, but it's definitely not fast with Fedora 21 on it. With something like Fedora 14, it'd run pretty good. I used to have. I don't remember what I put on it. I've had, you know, different things on it over the years. Yeah, there's not a lot of documents in here. There's not much space for it to have a lot of stuff. But like screenshots and information, you know, on it and stuff, it's important to me to keep. I think what I've done is, instead of giving it its own separate backup, I copied them in. This looks like the same folder that I was just looking through. But I won't know for sure unless I go ahead and back it up. Okay, so quick way to find out what it's running is use the system info app. SysGuard. Yeah, that's the one I like the best. And yeah, SSHD is running, and SSH agents. I think SSHD would be the server if I remember right. So I might be able to log into it. Let's see what its IP address is. 192.168.0.153. I'll just write that on this. Uh, 2.168.0.153. Yeah, I can feel when every time that heater runs, it's making me cough instead of helping me right now. It's running. Let's do it again. It's also already 77.2 now that I turned on the NetProMax. I guess I'm really ain't gonna be able to handle running it without a window cracked at least a little bit. I'm gonna run over there and crack a window and get on my other machine. Okay, now this FileZilla is a good program. I used to always use Crusader, but something's changed in that in there, and doing SFTP. I think it won't allow you to do straight password logins anymore. I think you have to set up a key in both machines. And I never think about it until I'm ready to do something. Anyway, I tried. Well, I did try it once, and I didn't get it working. I think I just wasn't thinking straight. I tried it between this one and something, but anyway, FileZilla works. You just got to pay attention. It works different. I've been always used Crusader ever since I discovered it in 2005. So FileZilla will overwrite the files in a different way. You got to pay attention. So let's see. Right. I have noticed lately that if it's better to go ahead and I thought you could just put in the IP address, which it can work, but well, actually I can't remember. But the last time I did it, I went ahead and typed out SFTP, and I got what I wanted. I got it to do what I wanted to do. Some apps you can't type all that in there. Some apps you don't need to, but you can. Like I think this one you don't need to, but you can. I think. But anyway. Let's see. Going to log in as root if I can, so that I can go wherever I want in there and do what I need to do. Port 22, that's what you use for SFTP. Yep, it's there. So yes, I do trust it. It's my machine. Excuse me. All right, now I put you in the root since you logged in as root, but I want to actually go to home and get my personal files out of there. And over here on my local side, I need to go to Run Media, Dawn, Seagate Expansion Drive, and I'll probably just go folder by folder. Let's see. Think about it. I'm not sure. With Crusader, it can take forever when you have a lot of files on the either side. So I think I'll go. Yeah, see, there's very little in there. Documents. Mark those and download. And it'll ask you, what do you want to do when they're already there? See, they're already there. So I'm going to say overwrite if newer size is different. That's your options. You could say overwrite, but then you might be overwriting a file from another machine with the same. Well, it shouldn't be if it's NetProMax, but anyway, I always do this action. And that was it for that one. Now, not any downloads. Shouldn't be any music either. Pictures, yes. Okay. If you click up here in this top row, then it automatically, you don't have to double click, so that sometimes that's easier. And you can use your keyboard, you know, hold down shift and get them all. Hold down shift, you know, click the top one, hold down shift and click the bottom one, or you can do, you know, you could like separate them out like that by holding down control. And then right click and say download. And of course, if you're going to go the other way, then you do just the opposite. Now, since I've already told it to always overwrite the ones that are older or file has changed. I don't think there's actually, yeah, there's no video in there. I was looking through this the other day. Yeah, there's not much of anything in there. I think I've already done this, but now I know for sure. Let's go to root. I selected them for some crazy reason. Yeah, there's not even a regular folder in there. RPM build. Don't need that. Yeah. So, and I don't. Let's go back to my. Now, if I had email set up in here or anything, then I would be wanting to get my .thunderbird folder, or if I was interested in, say, my where's .mozilla? There it is. Okay, if I wanted my there's the profile. And if I wanted my, it really doesn't do you much good to back up your bookmarks from there. It's hard to use them to put them back in there, because if you try to use those JSON files, and it will overwrite your what you got in your Thunderbird. The best thing to do is export the files as an HTML and then import them, and then it won't overwrite. It will just add it to your bookmarks you already got. But don't imagine, yeah, see, there's the bookmarks. Yeah, see, there's no need of me re-backing them up. If it was an important system, I would, but see, I just got through backing that up. So yeah, there's nothing else in there, so I'm free to shut that thing down then. I mean, I'm free to reformat it or whatever I want to it. I think what I'll try to do is remote desktop into it and look around it in the video here now. But sort of say I'd bookmark this. Well, I can try it anyway. I'll try bookmarking it. You can bookmark machines. But the craziest thing is you can't just go up there and click on them and connect to them. But if it won't work. But if you go up here and say reconnect up in here somewhere, and it was the last one you're on, that works. I don't know. I've used this for years, but not very often. I just disconnected. There's a lot of things in it that were quirky to me, and it bugged me, and so I always used Crusader. Speaking of quirky, I liked TeamViewer for a while until I've realized just how much it's tracking it's tracking how often you're using the app. It's it could be watching what you're doing with it. I mean, this remote desktop app is the most powerful of them all. They can either be a godsend or a rootkit. Malware, spyware, virus, everything under the sun you want to call it. So they wouldn't let me use it because I had used the live version a couple of times in one day, and they said you can't use it anymore. I imagine it's happened before a year or two ago, and I'd forgotten about it. But it's on like Pardon Magic or something. And I was using it from there. And what it was turning out, I figured out it was a little script that was going to their server, downloading it, and then starting it up for you. And I didn't realize that's what was going on until all that happened. But I went and did a lot of checking and figured out that's what was going on. And while I went and downloaded that script. But anyway, if they see you use it, I used it like 3 times within, a day. And they said, oh, we think you're using it for professional purposes, so you can't use it anymore. So I was like, and then I got to thinking, you know what? I never did really like, and with proprietary software, you can bet you're being tracked. That's they're tracking that. They want that big data to somehow make money off of you. They're not gonna make it all out of selling. If they're gonna let you use it for free, and they know most people aren't gonna buy it, so they can sell your usage information, your personal information, and all that, and make probably even more money. Obviously, it works for Google and Facebook. So, anyway, I just decided to quit using it. It's still on this machine, I just noticed. But, so I don't have the viewer. I don't have it on my other machine. I can't use it unless I want to get it and install it again. I don't want to. That was my short story long. Yeah, I didn't think I would have anything about any desktop viewers or anything on here. But what I might have on here that I can just turn on is yeah, this one's got a nice search. This is XFCE desktop, so it has the XFCE searcher Desktop search. Remote KRFB desktop sharing. That's the one I want right there. I can just turn this on and oh, it's got the password saved in there. Or wants to know if I do or have it or whatever. Anyway, I saw that a minute ago. I saw one keyring password. See if that works. Yeah, now I can enable desktop sharing. Ah, it has a password. You can't read it though, can you? Well, that's good. You can. Oh, I'm probably going to have to click change unattended password anyway, because otherwise you go through. It's real hard to. Well, I could try it now. It's probably go. Well, let's try it as it is. No, let's do this. Okay. There we go. There. I'll know what it is now because I just put it in there myself. Back to the other machine. I believe the NyQuil worked. If it doesn't knock me out sitting up straight. Okay. Now then. Yeah, there's KRFB. I have it where I can get to it quick on here. So I can turn it on and off. But that's not the viewer, that's just the sharing part of the app. I thought maybe I would have my favorite. Click and see. Yeah, this is what I was just going through there. I haven't ever even set up to save the password, and it won't save the password unless you set up that wallet thing, but I haven't ever done it in here. Tiger VNC is pretty basic, but it works. Well, actually, that's what KRFB uses, so it works the best of the ones I've tried. So, I used to never have any trouble with. Oh, I went blank. It was wanting the password in. Well, yeah, put the password in there. Press F8. Remember that F8 to open context menu. That way I can make it full screen or, yeah, F8. Okay. Now, here we are looking at the NetProMax Fedora 21 system. And, yeah, this was the little searcher I was talking about. This has got all kinds of apps on it, and hardware lister. Let's see if that'll tell us a little more about it. Need to be root. And this one might tell me a little more about what's going on. I tried to turn my sound on over there on my preview, and this one might tell me a little more. Yeah. Okay, so oh yeah, I think you have to hit refresh to get it to show a report. There we go. Now it's scanning. So 32 bits. It says width 32 bits, so this is a 32-bit processor. I believe that's what they're referring to there. So if you click over there on the left, and it'll bring out more stuff. And what's in the Zeus motherboard? You have to double click on them to get to the next menu to come down. It's kind of a funky acting program. See, now I lost what I had. I think I'm trying to make it go too fast. Giving it too many clicks. Maybe if maybe I have to click right on that arrow or something. It came in the second row. I was trying to get the third row and it didn't come up. I'm just going to refresh it again. Maybe that'll fix it. Maybe double clicking is not what I want to do. Maybe I want a single click. Maybe I'm not getting, I'm doing remote desktop. Maybe it's not getting a signal like it should. Not quite sure. But you have to click in each window and to expand each row, and you get a little more information. Normally. I wonder if we're just... Oh, yeah. It's responding, but slowly. Okay, so maybe if I won't be in such a hurry. It's trying to spread out those lines. I know you can do that, but it doesn't. When you're on remote desktop, it doesn't always work. Oh, there we go, but it went the wrong way. There. If I can see that arrow, maybe it'll... Maybe you have to click right on it. That's what I was thinking. Try hitting enter. There we go. Click on it and then hit enter. Try that. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, Celeron. Oh, now it says width 64 bits. So maybe it really will run us. It is a 64-bit processor. Socket 775. It is possible that this aging machine could be 64-bit. BIOS, skipped that one. There we go. American Megatrends, system memory, 2 gigabytes, and then host bridge. And this is stuff that I've never bothered to learn a lot about. Oh, how about that? Oh, now we see DVD writer. Okay. Go. Well, the main thing that I wanted to know, I don't know, when I first had it going there, that very first thing, it said width 32, but it says 64 bits. How did I? Now I don't see it saying that. I don't know. Well, seeing how it booted, the one that said AMD 64, I'm pretty sure the Live Security, which I think is 4 64-bit processors. I think maybe it is a 64-bit. So let's try that. Now this would make me want this to be my main server, because of one thing that was holding me back on some stuff I wanted to try using in Fedora server. You had to have a 64-bit processor, and that IBM is a 32-bit. I know that for sure. I couldn't do some stuff I wanted to do, so I'm going to just close that. I don't need that now. It's all backed up. I always hate reformatting a nice little system, but there's no need to say, I can put it to better use as a server. Actually, I bet you if I have trouble Fedora Media Writer, I might have to, well, that would be an old version though. I might be able to install it. I had trouble, and I hope I don't get hung up. I opened it up and it didn't crash. It was crashing, and Fedora Media Writer on my new system was not working the last time I tried to use it. I ended up having to go use my server, my Fedora 23 server, to make those 2 USB sticks I have now to write to them. So, yeah, I won't reformat this right now. I'll wait until I see if I actually have to use it to build stuff to reformat it with. The disks, yeah. Disk management, disks. I don't know if that's the one I want or not. Yeah, this is good. So yeah, 524 megabyte ext4, and then it's labeled 20 gigabytes. But that's the whole drive without any missing, space there. With that, should be big enough. And the 18 gigabyte block device, that's the actual operating, where the operating system is, and then the 512 is the boot partition, and then the 2 gigabyte, what's that? That's swap space. So it's divided up like that. I'm gonna have to pay attention to that because the automatic partitioning might end up like making a huge root partition, and it won't actually matter if I have a tiny user partition so much. This says Fedora server. I wonder if I set this up as a server, and then see what I used to do when I wanted to build a server on Fedora was just install Fedora and then install the server apps that I wanted, But I got to where I can't remember things like I used to. I used to remember. I could install Fedora and then set up a server. Most of it out of my memory, of what I needed to put in, but I can't remember that stuff anymore. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah, that remote desktop's not doing the best. Dang it. I'm getting a jillion hits on. Try just typing slower. Yeah, there we go. GAM server, which I always forget what that is. That's kind of something that comes with it, I think. And yeah, so now I don't have Apache. Oh no, it's not Apache, it's HTTPD. If I have an actual Apache on there, it'll be HTTPD. I don't. I just have SSH. I don't know why it says server on there as the name, unless I used a server. I did it again. Unless I used a server installer to do it from. Yeah, I know that works because I did that a while ago. Okay, so here's, you see, look at that. Xarg is using up all the CPU there. But see, the server that version I'm going to plan on putting on here is not going to have any GUI. That way, the machine can. It doesn't really need it. I've just always done it because I like to be able to. I always had it here in my room, and I wanted to be able to admin it quickly and easily from right here. But if it's going to be out in the garage anyway, then I don't necessarily have to have a GUI. Unless I get hung up and I get tired of messing with it, then I'll go ahead and put it on there. Put XFCE on it. That's what I have on the Fedora 23. But so I got it all backed up now, and that's what I have on So really, let's see, F8, that can get me out of the full screen. And of course, well, the remote desktop app really uses a lot of the server. The remote desktop server uses a lot of resources. So let me go ahead and shut that thing down for now. Or should I leave it running? You know, I feel the cool air. Well, it's 77. Let's see. Well, let me leave it running. Well, I wanted to turn off that. Well, I may need it. Yeah, I'll just leave it running just like it is. Because if my Fedora Media Writer, right there, Fedora Media Writer, if that doesn't work, I'll have to try to install it on I'll get my little USB stick, and I won't relabel it yet. Oh yeah. Okay, so see, it recognized my USB, and I'm not going to launch anything because I want to use what I've got open right there, Fedora Media. Okay, but what I am going to do is unmount and unplug my backup drive for safety so that I can't format that thing by accident. Actually, let's go ahead and close Media Writer until I do that. Unmount. Because that's a USB drive as well. It's an actual hard drive in a USB case, but still. Now see, Fedora SEC Live 28.1.1 1-1, whatever. It's 28.1.1 is what it is. Anyway, that's Fedora Live Security. Okay, so now Fedora Media Writer. Open it up again. And I don't want to download anything. I mean, this is a pretty cool app. It'll download stuff for you. It says, do you want to restore it? Do you want to restore it to factory setting? From what I remember, you don't need to do that. I think what that would do is erase all the stuff that's on there off. I think there's a time when you might want to do that, but see, when you put a new image on there, it erases everything anyway, so I don't see any. Unless it's going to allow me to run out of space. Let's hit restore this time. Yeah, reclaim all the space available on the drive. Factory settings. Save data will be deleted. You don't need to restore the drive if you want to write another live image. Okay, cancel. Yeah, okay, so that's what I thought. Now the one thing is what drive was that? You know, you don't know 100% for sure. It's new and improved and easy, but it leaves out the things that help you identify. Now, if you click the three dots, I was going to say that. Click the three dots. Oddly enough, before it would crash when you made it full screen, but it wouldn't when you did. Well, if it's going to crash, it's going to crash. I just saw it. Anyway, you can download all these other ones. It'll do that for you. This spins. It's pretty cool. Really cool. Way easier than finding all this stuff on the website and downloading them. But I was already used to finding them and download them, so I already had them downloaded. So I'm going to use the custom image. And the one that I want is actually in my downloads folder, so I'll just go there. I have some more on my backup drive, but well, it's unplugged, so that's why I left it in that folder, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so Fedora Linux 28, server net install x86-64. Now that's why I kept going through great pains to find out if it's a 64-bit processor. Looks like it is. Net install should give me all the options. One cool thing about net install, it doesn't have it all on there already, so It gives you a few more options of saying, okay, I want to click this box and this box and this box and add or take away things that you want to do. So Fedora net install is the one I want. SanDisk Cruiser pattern 2 GB. So I know that's the only SAN. I have 2 of those, but only one of them's plugged in. So that's right. And there's nothing else to choose because I unplugged my my USB drive, my Seagate drive. Boy, if you hit your backup drive and format, see this is destructive. It reformats the whole thing and divides it up in the partitions that Fedora needs to run its live image. So when you do, it's easy, but it's also very dangerous. So if you do this, you make darn sure you know you're going to the drive that you want to erase and reformat. So write to disk and put in your root password. And it doesn't take a real long time. Sometimes it take a few minutes, but I think it's pretty quick on this machine anyway. So I was gonna normally I'd go off and do something else, but I think we'll stick with it. Excuse me. Yeah, see, we can see that little red line moving across. I remember that line being red. I think it used to be blue. And so far it hasn't crashed or anything. So there must have been some bugs in it when I put Fedora 28 on here when it was still fairly new. So I think it was only like 2 months old. So I guess there was bugs that they fixed. It was just crashing and doing crazy things. And it didn't used to ever do that. I don't know, maybe it did when it was brand new some. I don't remember. But it's been out for several years. I don't remember how long. Remember the first time I discovered it, I tried to use UNetbootin, which I'd used for years, and it wouldn't work. And I had to go back and read the instructions again and found out, oh, that you don't do it that way anymore. And I read on the site yesterday or this morning or whenever it was, it mentioned that specifically. It says UNetbootin doesn't do it the same way and it won't work right, basically. But some of the other ones do now. Some other, besides the Fedora Media Writer, but heck, I use Fedora Media Writer. That's simple. That's the simplest way to do it. Is what the one, and of course that's what they recommend. But so it's already written. It's checking written data. So Fedora server. Finished. No, I don't want to delete the download image. Okay, close. Good. As there it is. I unmounted it, but I don't want it in this machine. I want it in the other one, so I'm going to go ahead and right-click on that is another, that U3 system, that's a part of that USB stick that you can't, has some Windows files on it, and you can't delete that. So now it's safe to remove. So I don't want to leave it unlabeled, labeled incorrectly. So I'm gonna run over there and get my alcohol and run over here and get my alcohol and wipe all that blue off there. Well, I just thought of something. I've got this glasses cleaner stuff that I use all the time. And when I picked up my old, well, let's go get the alcohol. Okay, now I'm trying to think. I started to put my little, I like to use these little blue gloves to, if I don't, when I'm using alcohol or glasses cleaner, my fingers, if I do it once, one day, later on in a few hours, well, the alcohol's not as bad, but that glasses cleaner, my fingers will crack. Look at that. That's how quick that wipes that off of there. How well I can show that to the camera. That's one side. But, you fold it up, I guess. Try not to get blue on anything else like my keyboard tray. I was thinking, I don't want to get the blue on my gloves and then I'll get it on my glasses the next time I clean my glasses. But they are throwaway gloves, so if that seems to be a problem, then. So there we go. I think the alcohol, this was still kind of damp from the last time I cleaned my glasses. And it didn't seem to phase it, so I thought, well, I guess the alcohol works better. So I don't see anything on there. I'll get it turned back the right way, and that way it won't be drying. Usually I don't worry about doing that. I just do it as I use it. Anyway, there we go. Now we're going to put this. Let's go over here on that machine. Wait, before I go over there this time, where's my camera? Wrong one, that's why. Okay. Yeah, before I'm going to zoom in on it a little more so that it can be seen a little better. Because I'm going to have to look. Really, I'm going to zoom in on the screen is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing really to see on trying to plug that into the right. It's on the right, so the front is kind of hard to do, but other than that, it's not a big deal. There it is. Now, what am I on? I'll show you the desktop, how I do it. Okay. So the zoom is not zoomed in all that much yet. Let's see. Normally I turn I'll go ahead and turn it. I guess I'll get the zoom about right and then I'll have to raise it up, looks like. Have to get up and do it. And exposure down a little bit so that it will. It's different than usual. The light's different in here. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Okay, now, that's how I do it. Now let's get over here and shut it down. And put our USB stick in there. Okay. Okay, so I don't have to worry about Fedora Media Writer or needing this for anything else. So we'll shut it down. And while it's shutting down, I'll get my stick plugged in. Okay, nice view of my back. Well, it's a never seen another machine with that. Or I mean, I don't have another machine with it. Maybe I've seen one, but it's on the right side down at the bottom, which first I thought was pretty cool, and it is if you have the machine set in the right place. But otherwise, it can be a real pain to plug into it. Oh, I was starting to switch my switch. I mean, I was going to switch my KVM switch, and then you wouldn't have seen it. Turn it on. Now, what I may do, I'll try it at least. Oh, yeah, I was thinking, starting to need a break, and I thought, well, I could take a break and start a new stream, and this stream would be, you know, installing instead of just all that other stuff. Maybe I will. Oh, that didn't go to the installer anyway. Let's see, I'll have to go into BIOS, hit F1. Delete, not F1. I thought it was F1. Well, I hit them both, so one or the other should work. Excuse me. So I'll go into my boot device. Removable is on top, but oops, hit F1. Oh, it doesn't even see it. Doesn't look like. Yeah. It's not seeing it. So I think I'm going to have to shut down again. And maybe it'll see it this time. I think I will do what I said, though. I think I'll take that little break. Hard shut it down. I don't know if that worked or not. I think it just rebooted it. See what happens this time. I probably have to just hold it in. I didn't hold it in long enough. I always like to set mine on 4 second. Hold it in for 4 seconds. And just let it boot again and see what it does. See a Zeus logo and everything? Yeah, it's just back to the normal Fedora 21. There we go. Alright, so I'll leave it like that so that when I come back, it'll be in the right. I might still have to mess around on the BIOS, I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, there's nothing short about an hour and a half video, so let's go ahead and do that. And take that break, and then I'll be refreshed and all that stuff. Okay. Yeah, I might need to reboot everything anyway. I was thinking I wouldn't, but normally that's the smartest thing to do, is just reboot everything. Okay, so I'll come back here after I have a break and start installing that, assuming it's going to boot like it's supposed to and everything. Okay.